Alright, yo, what's up? So I'm sick. If you guys follow my IG, I would know that. But I still just want to get a video out. Like I just want to get a video. I'm not gonna lie. And I've been thinking a lot, like what ideas for videos and stuff. And I have a bunch of ideas, but one main thing I really just want to get out is what I think the future of the underground is gonna look. Before we get into the actual video, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel because we are on the road to 3K subs and we have been growing insanely these last few days. So thank you guys for all support on the channel and let's keep growing together. And also while you're down there, go ahead and follow my IG because I give you guys regular updates on the channel a lot and I'm very active on there. And also go ahead and follow my Twitter because I'm starting to get a little bit more active on there as well. And also follow my TikTok because I just started posting a couple days ago. So yeah, after you do all those, let's get right into the video. So I've said this countless times, 2025 was an insane year for the underground. We had a bunch of great projects released, we had a bunch of new names come up, and we had the rage sound more specifically, get really fleshed out with all the artists using it and kind of innovating it in their own way. I feel like also in 2025, we had the leaders of the scene get really solidified. And when I say leaders, I mean people who are the front runners of this entire scene. Guys like Osama Sun, Che. In the more different side of things, you have Nine Vicious, the OA group, all different names that you guys are known for being at the top of the underground. And I say they're leaders because guys like Osama Sun, everybody looks to them whenever you think of underground music. In 2024, it was more Netspend and Osama Sun, but Netspend has slowed down with his music in 2025, and Osama Sun has only kept the foot on the gas, releasing 2 very good projects, going on 3 tours, releasing a very good string of singles, and basically making him the king of this whole thing. Che is another guy that you could throw as a leader of the underground because he's another person who released 2 very good projects in 2025, went on a very good tour, has been putting out a very good stream of singles, and people have been keeping their eyes on him a lot. And then diving away from the rage leaders of the underground, you have guys like Nine Vicious. Now Nine Vicious has had a very controversial come up with beefing with very big artists, cloning allegations with him cloning Young Thug. But throughout all of that, Nine has really let the music talk. People really care about the music side of Nine more than do the beefs, the negative stuff, the allegations and all that. And I always say that on the channel, I don't support the allegations or any wrongdoings that artists do. We know that this scene is not known for its morals, but if the music is good, I'm going to support the music side, not the artist, but their music. And people tend to critique Nine's music for the overuse of samples or the use of his flows and whatnot, but I feel like you aren't really listening, or you're very closed-minded when you're listening to him. Because yes, I could agree that he does overuse the samples, but he is very different from what we have in the other side of the underground scene. He's very melodic, he has very catchy flows, and he knows how to make a very stamped song on any project or just a single in general. And not only is he good at just making music, he's good at putting out actual music. Although we have guys like Osama Sun and Che releasing 2 projects, Nine releases a bunch of different projects at every point in the year, with EPs into albums, into EPs, into albums, and not really taking singles or whatnot, or bits and pieces of songs, you know what I'm saying? Not only does he do this on all streaming platforms under a label, he has a SoundCloud page where he will post other EPs like Emotions 1, Emotions 1.2, and that's on a build up to his next album, Emotions. So not even counting the SoundCloud things, he's probably released 4 projects in the last year. So you can't deny the consistency of Nine Vicious. That's just one thing I'm always going to give to him. But now looking into 2026, because we are in the new year, and I feel like it's a reset point for the music scene in general. I'm looking at what we could expect in the future. And the thing that really got me thinking about this is seeing the Rolling Loud set, which I know a lot of people were talking about. Now there's something very different with the Rolling Loud set this year compared to other years. And that's that Rolling Loud is really focusing on the underground side of music rather than having a lot of mainstream names. For instance, let's actually look at the Rolling Loud lineup for this year. So for the first day, which is Friday, the headliner is Don Toliver, which I've seen a lot of people talking about. They disagree with it. Should have been Yeet, Uzi. A whole lot of talks about that. But when you just look directly under that, you have SD Kid, who is really big artist who came out of the underground. Chief Keef, who has been mainstream for a long time. Saw Baby, pretty mainstream. But then after those 3 names, you have Netspend, Xavier So Based, Sofego, and under that there's some more underground artists. But just having Netspend that high up is insane because Netspend blew up not too long ago, 1 to 2 years now, and Xavier So Based just had a crazy year last year. But he is still very underground, and some people like to call Sofego underground, but that's pretty much a toss-up because he has the underground audience, but he also has the mainstream audience. So I mean, you could call him underground or mainstream, it doesn't really matter to me. But that's very insane considering Netspend also hasn't dropped that much music in 2025 and he's still damn near very close to headlining the whole event is insane, and it shows how much like eyes are on the underground scene or the upcoming rappers that we have right now. But then if you just even go back 1 year before, the headliner is Playboi Carti. Right under that you have Ken Carson, then you have Destroy Lonely, Quavo. You have a bunch of very big names that are basically mainstream at like the tip top of Rolling Loud. So it just shows how much the narrative could switch and how many eyes are truly on the underground, and people are expecting very big things from this scene. And then you could go back even 2 years before, in 2024, the headliner for the first night was Future. Right under that you have Yeet, Metro Boomin, Lil Yachty, Trippie Redd, Tyga, Lil Tecca, even more mainstream. Like, that's crazy. But there are some other underground artists that I haven't named, like Osamson and all that, who are very close to headlining, but they're not quite there. They're just on different days. But overall, I think that this really does benefit the underground because it's giving a whole new set of eyes placed on them. Because Rolling Loud is a very big festival. It has a bunch of different people coming from different countries just to see people perform. And a lot of people actually don't know a lot about these artists. Like when you look at Osamson or you look at a Netspend, they have 1 to 2.1 monthly listeners. But when you go out in the real world, not a lot of people know who they are. So I know that a lot of people are like voicing their distaste or they don't like the Rolling Loud lineup or how underground it is. Some people might walk away from this festival thinking like, oh, Osamson's not that bad, let me go give him a listen. Or hey, Netspend's not that bad, let me go give him a listen. And overall it's just gonna make the scene way bigger. But even looking way further past that, let's say Rolling Loud goes really well and Osamson and Netspend hit like 5 million monthly listeners, where they're not really underground anymore. Sure, they might have the audience, but in reality they're like damn near mainstream. That leads to a new cycle of big names coming up, like who will be our next Osamson, or who will be our next Netspend, or Nine Vicious and all that. And I know that a lot of people have their eyes on Owe, and they could make a very big jump also from being on Rolling Loud. I'm not sure if they're actually on here, but I know a few of the members are. So a lot of those guys can start coming up and taking the place of a Osamson or a Netspend and bringing a whole new sound to the underground. Because one thing that I've been voicing in a lot of my videos is I want a new type of sound or a new breath of life into the underground, because I'm getting very tired of the rage, loud 808s, like all that. So I really do feel like 2026 is a very transitional year for the underground. We're gonna have a lot of new names come up that we haven't even listened to in the past 2 to 3 years, or in the past year, or maybe we might have some artists that came up in 2024, kind of fell off. They can make a revival, kind of like how Slayer happened, because he was basically unknown up until one very good album and he just came up like that. I feel like we could have a lot more of those type of artists in 2026. And then you have some bigger guys who are really invested in this scene and came from this scene, like Playboi Carti. He already has the Opium group that he started with Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, and Homicide Gang. But now he also has a subsector of that being YVL. And I'm pretty sure the first I need to that is Apollo Red. He could probably flesh out that YVL side of things a lot more in 2026. Now, do I know who he has his eyes on? No. But I don't think he would sign anyone that already has a decent name for themselves in the underground right now. So I don't think that we're going to be see Osamson signing to YVL or Netspend signing to YVL. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that he might go for someone who basically has 0 to no fan base to really build and flesh out that artist more in 2026. And then we have another artist, Lil Uzi Vert, who just came back on the latter half of 2025, who came back, dropped a bunch of singles, and also announced his new album, Core. I feel like we could see him really fleshing out that too, signing a bunch of artists who have basically no name. And I think that's a thing a lot of people need to get in their heads, because they see all these artists starting their own independent labels, and they think that they're just gonna sign artists who are like, have a lot of buzz right now, like an Osamson or a Netspend. But they are already signed to major labels. Like Osamson is signed to his own very big record label, or Netspend signed to Grade A. Our rappers can't buy out those artists, because one's gonna take a lot of money, and overall I don't think the return would be worth it. I feel like it's better for them to find someone who has little to no buzz or has a very unique sound, sign them, build them up, you know, get them promo, get their own image going, and then let them explode into their own like type of artist. I don't think you'll get much value out of signing an Osamson or a Netspend. And sure, that may be cool from like a fan perspective. I would love to see it. That would be cool, but I don't think it's feasible in the music scene or the scene that we're in right now. Also, we have a bunch of albums that we're highly expecting for the first releases of 2026. Nine Vicious has Emotions, which he's been teasing for a very long time, and I think he's gonna drop that before Rolling Loud, which could propel him into the millions of monthly listeners, get his name out there a whole lot more, and I'm really excited to see that. We also have Osana, who's been previewing his album A Forever Thing for damn near months now, and maybe we could see that release earlier in 2026, maybe summer. but I'm really hoping he could get that out because people are dying for new Osana. Like, he still has the hype, he still has a fan base, people are still talking about him, so I feel like that could be good for the underground scene too. Some artists I'm gonna have my eye on is 1AM. You guys already know Baby Man, I'm gonna be having my eyes on him. Teasus, I've kind of died down on like my hype for him, but I'm really excited to see what he puts out next, and just all of OA in general. Also, Early Life Crisis by Netspin. That's another album I've been highly anticipating because Netspin has basically dropped no music in 2025, and I want to see something new. But let me know what you guys are thinking of the future of the underground scene in 2026, or even beyond that. What names do you guys want to see come up? Is there anyone that you guys could put me on to? Let me know all that down in the comments. But if you guys made it to this point in the video, like the video because you obviously like the video, subscribe, and go ahead and follow my IG, my Twitter, my TikTok. All of them are linked down in the description. And I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for 2,400 subscribers. We're growing so crazy, and I'll see you on the next one. Eat food, drink water, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.